How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at quite a few new Pokemon rumors and stuff that have popped up. I haven't been posting recently, so let's get right into it. Starting things off, we have this post from Centro, which I don't know if Centro was the original person who posted this. I think it might have been this original post here by Poké Balls, who originally posted it. Maybe, I'm not sure. But we'll see if we can find their profile, because they might have been the person who actually posted all this stuff originally. But yeah, I don't think I can find their profile. They might have actually deleted it by now. But either way, what are we looking at? Well, basically, we will. This is how the Gen 10 map, or maybe they were just asking a question. This is how the Gen 10 map looks, more or less. Many more islands missing. But this is again showing the idea of what the actual islands will look like in Gen 10. If we don't know, Gen 10 apparently, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to be based on... I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I think it was Indonesia, right? Or like Southeast Asia, more or less, right? With like islands and stuff. That seems to be what it's being based on, but it doesn't end there. We also know what the naming scheme is going to be, something like winds and waves, something like that. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed, but we have heard about that. But basically, we've seen a ton, okay? And I really mean a ton of leaks. And this one is just supposed to show what the map is meant to look like, right? Like the actual design of the map and all that kind of stuff, which, to be fair, looks pretty much as would be expected, right? Like positioning wise and everything. There's just a bunch of islands. You have a few bigger ones. They seem to point out that there's going to be like some sort of volcano on like at least the largest main island, some sort of mountainous part on one of the other large ones, and a desert on one of them as well, which is exactly what I want to see, because the one thing that I genuinely actually hate about Legends ZA, which is kind of one of the reasons I think it's one of the worst Pokemon games we've ever had, is the lack of any biodiversity, right? The only area in the game that actually has any sort of different, biodiverse setup, I guess, would be like the one area that has like ice type Pokemon. It's all frozen, right? It's like the one place that's actually interesting and different. And I get it that it's one city, so logically it shouldn't change that much. But like realistically, why would that area be all frozen, right? Why is that one place all frozen but nothing else is? Or no other areas, for example, where there are fire types, there's not a bunch of trees on fire and shit. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Like it's a little confusing, and really, in my opinion, kind of dumb. So I hope that at least with this game, at least with Gen 10, they can remedy what, in my opinion, is one of the most egregious parts of ZA, which is just the arguably boring map and boring locations, not locations, that you get to explore. There's really nothing to explore if you really think about it. It's pretty dead. But at least it's one of the things, right? But yeah, either way, basically this, like, to me at least, looks to be a more interesting region because of the fact that we're gonna be able to explore more. I just hope, for the love of God, please make each island, no matter how small it is, make it have some kind of purpose, right? Like, the one thing I really hope they're not gonna do is just to like and shitifying it, right? Or doing like the standard thing that Pokemon does, which is just like add a bunch of things that are empty and there's no purpose to them, but just like, oh, we put an Eevee on this one island and that's the reason you should go there. Like, add more to it, right? Make it actually worthwhile to explore. Because I feel like that's the one thing that really was lovely when we were younger playing Pokemon, which was the exploration, right? Like actually exploring, seeing places, trying to find new little things. Like, it's like, you got to think about it. Pokemon games have never been massive. They've always been relatively small scale. Then you've always been sort of set on a specific path to follow. You've been on the rails. Like, I would say a Pokemon game is kind of similar to a roller coaster, right? You don't really get to choose what you get to do. You just sit in the roller coaster and enjoy the ride. Pokemon, in the older games, did this nice thing of the fact that the roller coaster was so tight and well, like, designed, and everything was so specific, you didn't have that freedom to just run around. Like, I would say, basically what you have here with like ZA and more recent games is you have these giant open spaces, but there's nothing to them. It's like Mr. Beast Land, right? If you guys have seen that, Mr. Beast Land, that's the equivalent. There's just like a few things here and there, but most of it is just empty space and there's nothing to do. Or Fire Festival, if you know anything about that. It's the equivalent of that. It's like, hey, we promise a bunch of stuff, but there's like really nothing there. Old games, like, they didn't overpromise. You got what you got, right? But what you got was so concisely well done because they didn't have to make these giant open worlds that served no purpose. Instead, they could just focus in on the things that were there, making each city feel alive because you could enter every building, you talk to everybody, you can explore, you can find like weird things in weird places. it just made the experience far more enjoyable. So I hope that with the fact that they're going with like all these islands, please just don't make them empty. Like, of course, there's got to be a few, because even in real life, there are empty islands here and there, but give each island personality, give it a purpose, give us a reason to enter buildings in each island, to explore and talk to the locals. Give us like purpose is what I'm trying to say. Give us a reason to explore. I feel like this game needs to be exploration first. Like, first and foremost, exploration needs to be the #1 thing. But that's what the islands are supposed to look like, right? That's what the actual shape. Apparently, they've counted around 30 islands on the beta map. Somebody asked, what's the gimmick for this generation? All I remember is that it has something to do with the weather. It says weather moves, that's all we know. I think we know a bit more, but I don't remember much about it. Will National Dex return? No, obviously it will not. Is it based on Greece or Southeast Asia? Southeast Asia, we already know that. The map you publish is literally the same as the map of the Cyclades in Greece. The Cyclades have volcanoes. They also have prominent palm trees on some of their islands and desert islets. Also, Cyclades means circle islands. This is literally the reason why our source originally mistook it as Greece. Like, yeah, like, we know it's not Greece, okay? It's not Greece, okay? That's literally the thing. We now know, based on the bigger leaks that have come out, that no, it is not based on Greece. It's based on Southeast Asia specifically, because it was, again, clarified in the newer leaks. It was literally, like, clarified further off the top, right? So, yeah. That's pretty much that. We're going to move on to the next thing, which is a Pokemon Day 2026 Presents, which, by the way, if you think about it, we are only like 3 months away. I mean, I guess, yeah, 3 months, because let's be honest, February is essentially an entire month until you get the actual Presents, because it's on the 27th of February, right, which is Pokemon Day. 27th, 28th, sometimes 28th, sometimes it's weird. But yeah, either way. Here's what they say, though, which is Pokemon Day 2026, everything I know about Pokemon Presents. Runtime is a roughly 32 minutes, which doesn't sound like, it's not that crazy. You got to think about it like 32 minutes, and you got to think about it like this. You have a shit ton of mobile games. You have Pokopia. You have Pokemon Champions. You have Pokemon Go. You have Pokemon Sleep. You have Pokemon Masters EX. You got Pokemon, oh my god, what else is there? Pokemon Unite, there we go. You have just so many games that they're going to talk about for like 20, 30 minutes, and then 2 minutes of actual new info. But they say Friday 27th, okay, cool. Script goes as follows. First 3 minutes is thanking for the fans for 30 years of Pokemon, which, yes, I forgot about that. Next year is the 30th anniversary. Yes, 30 years since the inception of this franchise is being celebrated next year. So that's neat. So first 3 minutes is thanking fans for the 30 years of Pokemon, which is fine. They then talk about lots of exciting things to show us. Okay, what could that be, I wonder? What could that be? What could that be? Well, there's roughly 10 minutes of mobile game announcements. Okay. Fair enough. Now, they got Pokemon Go, Pokemon, oh yeah, TCG Pocket, that's one I forgot. Masters EX and Cafe Remix, I forgot. Have a lot of celebration events and free items and rewards. Nothing new there, just the standard same thing as always. There's then a collaboration section where they discuss partnerships with Lego, etc. This runs for around 5 minutes, which, yes, that again sounds realistic, because yes, finally, Pokemon is officially coming to Lego. Yeah, yippee, woo! We're not going to get Mega Blocks anymore. I think that's the one they have in not in Germany, but in Europe in general. I think we have like Mega Blocks for Pokemon. I don't know how they managed to collaborate with Mega Blocks. What even is Mega Blocks? But yeah, they somehow did Mega Blocks. But either way, they say there's a collaboration discussion with Lego for around 5 minutes. Okay, so at this point, 15 minutes of just stuff that, let's be honest, 99% of people don't care about, but let's go. New movie announcement about a new mythical Pokemon. Wait, really? A movie announcement of mythical? Okay. It'll be part of the Gen 10 Pokédex, but they don't reveal that yet. A trailer is shown and will be releasing 2026. Okay, but who's part of the movie? Is it like new characters completely? Is it Ash? Is it Lyco? Who is it? Right? Either way, TCG section, and they reveal a celebration collection similar to the celebration set from the 25th anniversary. Okay, this is actually, like, we already know this is going to happen because there was already a massive leak that, well, not massive, but there was a trademark leak that came out. Like, the trademarks had been registered for Pokemon Collection Celebration, right? That's literally that wording, that name was already registered as a trademark by the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, and Game Freak, just like earlier in November. So, yeah. we pretty much know there's going to be a collection similar to that 25th anniversary collection they also did. Now, Champions gets a release date for April. They then discuss Worlds during this section too, and reconfirm it will be used for competitive stages. Okay, Pokopia is up next. Talk about the release date the week later and reveal a new form known as Thievie. What is that? What is that supposed to be? A ghost type Eevee? This looks more like a menacing Eevee that tries to steal your resources before befriending you. Okay, so we're getting essentially like a new evolution that isn't even going to be available in the actual mainline games and is part of only Pokopia. That's sad. But hey, fair enough. Looks like more like a menacing Eevee that tries to steal your resources before you befriend it. Okay. Then they wrap things up by revealing Pokemon Wind and Wave exclusively for the Switch 2. They reveal the starters and the main characters. Okay, exploration is shown and the new engine is revealed. They show details similar to when Gen 7 was announced, and they had Picky Peck on the computer. This trailer is complete and it does the game justice. That's all I've seen from the script. Looks like to be a very good presence. Now again, this is just a rumor, so I wouldn't necessarily take this as the end all be all of truth. And I wouldn't really take this as being actually real just based on this. It is an interesting rumor nonetheless, though, I will say. And it does actually bring up some interesting points that wouldn't necessarily be fake sounding, to say the least. So at least there's that, right? Like, it doesn't sound fake, which is always good. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting, to say the least. I'm intrigued. But we'll have to wait and see if anything does actually come from it. But yeah, it's just a matter of time at this point. So let's just continue to the next thing, which is going to be this right here. Now, this is from Chico, who basically discovered that if you've, played ZA, you may have questioned what actually happens, and how do we unlock, or can we unlock the rooms of the other members of Team MZ? The models for their rooms exist, but there's no way to access them, which is really weird. I hope in the DLC they at least unlock this, because otherwise, it's another one of those things where I'm just like Game Freak, you literally created it. Like, you created it, but you don't give us the ability to access it. And it's like, I know to most of you guys this doesn't matter, but it's just kind of, it's again world building, right? It's just world building including this. And as you can see right here, this is definitely Naveen's room, okay? It has to be Naveen's room because of all the clothing, because he's a fashionista. He loves to, make clothes. He make clothes. And you can literally see his room has all of that, literally screaming that it's his room, but it's not accessible. There's no way to get into it. I think this, I'm not sure who this rooms this is. I think this was Urbane or Tawny, according to Chico. Depending on which one you play as. I'm trying to see if there's anything I can notice, but again, there's like a bunch of, I'm not sure if that's paperwork or what it is, but there's a bunch of drinks and stuff, which actually would make sense, because isn't she technically taking over now? Taking over the position of being like the one in charge of, what do you call it? Quasartico and all that. So it would make sense that she's like working, she's got her laptop up and all that. Then here, I guess this is, Lida? I think Lida's room, right? It must be, I would assume, right? I mean, again, I could be wrong, but it looks like it would be Lida's room. But yeah, again, it's interesting just to see. And if you look like closer, Urbane and Tawny has an investigation map, so pretty sure that that's their room. Also, the laptop is video editing software, which is obviously their room. So if we look here, yeah, I mean, they've got like an investigative board. I guess they're trying to investigate what's happening in the city and all that, which, I mean, at this point we already know. And then, of course, a video editing software. Dude, it's literally like Premiere, baby. It's Premiere. It's Premiere Pro, dude. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see that this exists. And we can also see here Chico actually entering these houses and taking a look at them, like the actual rooms, and exploring them a bit. So it makes me a little sad that like we didn't get like, we didn't get like full on. You can also see here like where all the positions are. But again, it just makes me a little sad that they didn't use these rooms more. Naveen's room is at least his background for the Infinite Royale profile picture, which, I mean, just for a profile is a little sad, you know what I mean? But yeah, like it's a little sad. But you can again watch these videos if you want to yourself. El Chico Eevee on Twitter if you want to look these up. Chico's great at like data mining, so definitely check these out if you're curious about these things further. But yeah, a little sad, but it is what it is. Next up though, we do already know a list of like the full list of bosses in the DLC for Pokemon like Mega Dimension ZA, which is the following. Staraptor is going to be the, I'm assuming this is the order of which is first and last. But we got Staraptor, or actually maybe it's just a random order. Staraptor, Tatsugiri, Meowstic, Heatran, Darkrai, Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza, and Zeraora are all going to be the bosses that you're going to be battling in the DLC. We don't know which ones are part of the story or if any of them is optional or has special unlock requirements. I'm assuming we already know that Groudon and Kyogre have unlock requirements that are special. How do we know this? Well, if we go to the Pokemon official website for ZA, if we just go over to the official website for it real quick, let's see, Legends ZA. Here we go. Find the official website real quick. Here it is. All right, so if we go to the official website, we can actually see, if we go to the DLC section, if it actually works, we can actually find 2 items that already hint at that. So let's go to news. Turns out the official website just doesn't work. Great. Why is every website down today? I was even trying to check another website and they're all just down today. But either way, let's check if the news work. Nope, they just do not work. Either way, basically what I'm trying to say is we've already seen like with the DLC reveals that there's going to be like, let's see, Legends ZA DLC donuts. Oh, here it is. Perfect. I actually found it somehow. There it is. So we already saw this on the official website. This obviously looks like Groudon and Kyogre, right? Like these donuts. And these are donuts that we're going to be able to make and produce ourselves. Like we actually make these donuts by combining different berries together. And that will change what Pokemon spawn in specific zones. So I'm assuming that donut in particular is going to be the one we use to specifically get our hands on Groudon or Kyogre. So yeah, again, I'll be making guides and tutorials and all that kind of stuff on it when we get to it. But for now, that's all you really need to know about it. That yes, we already know that there's special requirements for Groudon and Kyogre. Now I'm gonna guess that you need Groudon and Kyogre to then make Rayquaza appear. Most likely would be something like that. As for Heatran and Darkrai, I would assume those would just be kind of like similar to how you got Darkrai. Like it's just gonna be a little side mission, side quest. We probably make you know, one of those donuts specifically to fit him as well. So again, it's just a matter of time before we figure all this out. Because I mean, the DLC is almost here. We are quite literally 10 days away. So, you know, it's almost here. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's video, though. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.